Hi, my name is Chris Salinas with the Auto Den Tint and Detail out of Houston, Texas. We are an automotive tint and detail shop that specializes in window tint, ceramic coating, paint protection film, and automotive detailing. We are going to be installing PPF today on this UX200. We will be doing a full front clip, but today we're going to concentrate on the driver's side fender. Before we can go any further, let's jump to the film cut program so that we can plot out our pattern. Okay guys, now we're at the computer. We're going to open up our film cut program and select the desired vehicle so that we can plot out the pattern. You want to open the program. Under type, you have the tint templates and you have PPF templates. Today we'll be selecting the PPF templates. Open up your PPF template. This is a 2022 Lexus UX200. After you select the year, make, and model, all the templates will show up on the program. Today, we're going to be concentrating on the driver's side fender, which in the program would be designated as the left fender. Scroll down to your left fender, select it. It does have the mirrors included in this template, but that's just to get the most that you can out of your PPF pattern. We are going to select these and erase them. We won't be using them today. We're mainly going to just concentrate on the driver fender. So once we have all of these deselected, the only thing left is the actual full fender that we will be installing. And now it's time to jump to the workhorse plotter so that we can cut out the pattern. Okay guys, now that we've selected the pattern that we will be working with, the next step is to send it to the workhorse plotter to cut out the pattern. Now that the pattern's been cut, we'll cut off any excess and move on to the peel board. Okay, so now that the pattern is cut, we will start the weeding process. But before we do that, I'm going to trim off any excess film. That way you don't have so much to work with. Just make sure you don't cut through your pattern. And again, we are just removing any excess film just so it makes it easier for us to handle. You don't have to worry about any excess film. Once you cut off the excess, you now have the pattern that you will be working with, and you can weed out your pattern. Once you find your pattern, just start weeding and pull away from the pattern so you don't pull into it, just in case. Once you weed out your pattern, you'll have the pattern that you'll be working with. And now we'll be ready to start the installation process. Okay guys, now that we have our pattern plotted out, weeded out, we have the pattern that we'll be working with. Next, take it off the release liner and take it to the vehicle for installation. I like to wet it as I go, just in case it touches itself. It doesn't want to stick to itself. Now that we have our pattern picked out, next step is to start the installation process on the vehicle. Okay guys, now that we have our pattern, we're going to start the installation process. We will be doing the driver's side fender. We will apply some of our slip solution. You want to make sure that you have plenty of slip, that way you're able to maneuver the pattern before it actually stays in its final place. Now we'll apply the pattern. Just try and get it aligned as good as possible. Once you have it to its desired location, I like to start at the front edge and work my way back. So that's what we'll do now. Apply some slip solution to the outside of the PPF to allow your squeegees to glide without any problems. Like I said, we will be lining up the front edge, and to make sure that that stays, we are going to apply some of our HITEK solution. Once that's applied, line up your pattern to the front edge, and I like to work my way to the back. Now that it's lined up, we can start the installation process. You want to make sure that it's tacked, it's not moving. Now we can move on. Now we can start to remove any of the slip solution out of the film. You want to put some pressure on there with 50-50 overlap. That way you don't have any moisture that stays behind in the PPF. Again, as you're working, just make sure everything is lined up in its desired position. Make sure on these body lines that you get all of the moisture out of the body line, because it likes to trap moisture. I'm not putting a lot of pressure, I'm just putting enough to get all of the moisture out of the vehicle and help the glue adhere. Everything looks good. We'll do our final pass here. Make sure we get all of our moisture out. Now that the pattern is all squeegeed out, we will have some excess hanging over on the edges that we will be able to tuck. And that way you get total protection on this front fender. Okay guys, now that the installation's complete, I like to wipe down my panel of any excess moisture on the outside. And while I'm doing this is a good time to inspect your panel for any dirt or debris that could have been left behind in the installation. This panel looks great, it's good to go. We do have exposed film on the edges that will be tucked for full protection. Those need to dry out for a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I like to spray my HITEK solution on there, which is a mixture of alcohol and water. To dry it out, I let it sit, and then you're able to tuck the edges for a flawless install. Next, we'll be working on the bumper and installing the PPF on this UX200.